Good morning, everyone. I hope all of you are doing well and feeling very fresh today. In our today's session, we are focusing in a very on a very practical and interesting topic that affects every single person in an organization, and that topic is motivation. Motivation is something we hear about all the time. We hear the students who say, I don't feel motivated for study, or the employees may say that I am not motivated at my job. Managers also often complain that their team members are not motivated at all while performing their job at their best. So, in today's lecture, we are going to discuss the motivation and what the motivation really is, and how it is important, and how the different theories explain this concept in a very perfect way. So, let us start uh, our today's lecture from the very beginning. Motivation simply refers to the reason behind the person's behavior. Whenever the people take action, whether it is for studying for the exam, working late in the office, maybe going to the gym, or even cooking a meal, there is always a reason behind it. Don't you think like that? There is always a reason behind our motive. Motivation is our internal force that pushes someone to behave in a certain way or to put effort in reaching out to the goal. In organizations, motivations mean the willingness of employees to work hard or to stay connected and use their abilities at their maximum to achieve the organization goals and perform in a very effective way. When the employees are motivated, they will work with energy. Obviously, they will work with full energy and determination, and also they will feel very responsible and they will focus on the results. But contrary to this, if the motivation is low, uh, then the work slows down and the mistakes increases and the performance suffers the most. Motivation has basically three main elements. The first element is direction, meaning what the goal a person is trying to reach. The second element of motivation is intensity, meaning how hard they are trying to reach it. And the third is persistence, which tells us how they will continue work towards the goal even when the things will become difficult. You can take it as a real life scenario. You can think of it like if someone studies daily for the exam and focuses and continues studying until the exam day, we can easily say that the student is highly motivated. Now, let us talk about why the managers should care about motivation. The reason is simple. Motivation directly affects the performance, as one can only perform effectively if he or she is highly motivated. A highly skilled employee who has motivation will perform poorly if the motivation is less or slowed down. But an average employee with the average skills who is very motivated will perform far better. Motivation increases the productivity, improves the creativity, and strengthens the commitment, and reduces the absenteeism, which is the main problem in our today's dynamic world, the problem of absenteeism. When the people feel motivated, they will connect it to the organization and the work will become meaningful for them. With this understanding, let us move towards the early theories of motivation. These theories were basically developed many years ago, many and many years ago, but they are still in the present contemporary world, they are still very helpful to understand the basic human needs and behaviors. The first theory that I will be going to discuss in our today's lecture is Maslow hierarchy of needs. Maslow said that human beings have five type of need. These needs are arranged in the form of a pyramid as per Maslow. According to him, people are highly satisfied at uh, people must satisfy their lower level needs before they move to the higher level needs. The bottom of the pyramid represents the psychological needs like food, water, rest, and shelter. Once these needs are satisfied, people focus on safety needs such as job security, safe working condition, and financial stability as well. After that comes the social needs, which include friendship, a sense of belongingness, teamwork, and our relationships. Then comes the third level, which is the esteem needs, which relates to the feeling of being respected, valued, and recognized. At the top of pyramid is self-actualization, which means achieving one's full potential and personal growth, which is the highest level of this pyramid basically as per Maslow hierarchy of needs. Sorry. To understand this in a workplace settings, think of the employee who is worried about the job securities or who doesn't receive a stable salary. The person will not care about the awards. That kind of person will not at all take care of recognition or the growth or how the people appraise him or her. Their focus will remain on meeting their basic needs. Only when the basic need and safety needs are satisfied, then do the employees look for appreciation. They look for trust and development opportunities. The Maslow reminds us and reminds the managers that different employees may be at different level of needs, and so their motivation may also differ in this case. After the Maslow, we move forward toward Herzberg's two-factor theory, which makes the employees satisfied or dissatisfied at work. He basically concluded that there are two different set of factors. One set of factors is called hygiene factors, and it includes salary, company policies, working conditions, and supervision. According to Herzberg, hygiene factors do motivate the people, but if they are missing, the people will become very dissatisfied at their workplace. As these all aforementioned factors matters a lot for a person. The second set of factors is called motivators. These factors will include achievement, responsibility, meaningful words, and recognitions. These are also the factors that genuinely and indeed motivate the employees. For example, if an organization provide clean workspace like a fair salary and clearer policies, employees will feel quite neutral. They will not complain. They will feel highly satisfied. They will feel fuller, but when they also won't feel deeply motivated unless they receive appreciation uh, against the challenging task and also the growth opportunities and trust. Hesworth teaches us the motivation comes from the meaningful work and not just from the salary. The next theory I am going to discuss today is theory X and theory Y, which is presented by McGregor, which suggested that the managers usually hold one or two views about the employees. Theory X suggests that the managers believe that the employees are basically lazy. They tend to avoid the responsibility at their workplaces, and this theory suggests that the employees dislike to work and they must be closely supervised. Because of this belief, Theory X managers tend to be strict. They tend to be strict and they develop pressure on the employees and sometimes even comes with punishment. On the other hand, Theory Y managers believe that the employees are naturally motivated and they enjoy their work, they are creative and can take the responsibility. We can motivate themselves. So, the Theory Y managers prefer teamwork, they prefer participation, they prefer empowerment and trust. The interesting part of this theory is that the managers believe about the employees influences how the manager behaves. If the manager assumes employees are lazy, they will treat them strictly, which then reduces the employee motivation even more. And contrary to this, if a manager believes that his or her employees are really capable, they create a positive work environment that will encourage motivation. So, the final theory we will discuss is McClelland theory of needs. What is the theory of need? McClelland basically said that the people are motivated by three main needs. The first need is the need for achievement, which is the desire to do something better or accomplish the difficult task as compared to other people. People who have high need for achievement like challenging tasks and prefer the feedback on performance. The second need is the need of power, obviously, which is the desire to influence or control others. These kind of individuals enjoy leadership roles and they want to make their impact, they want to create a separate impact on a society than as compared to their colleagues or other people at the workplace. The third need is the need for affiliation, which is the desire for friendly relationship and a social interaction. Such people enjoy teamwork and harmony. Managers can use this theory to assign the task that match to individual dominant needs. And as we reach at the end of our today's lecture, let us quickly recap our today's agenda. Today we begin by understanding what the motivation actually is and why it matters so much in organizations. So after that, then we moved a little bit and we discussed the early theories, including Maslow theory, Maslow hierarchy of needs, Herzberg's two-factor theories. Then we discussed about McGregor's theory, theory X and theory Y, and at the end we discussed the McClelland's needs. These theories build the foundation of understanding the human behavior at work. In our next lecture, we will move to the contemporary theories, the current issues, and the short case studies which will connect these theories with practice. That will be quite practical kind of thing for all of you. So till then, take a short break. That was all for today's lecture. Thank you very much and Allah Hafiz.